You're watching CT22 with Eric Parker, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare.
Welcome back. If you did a double take the last time you checked out at the grocery store, you are certainly not alone. Everything seems to be costing more. Joining us to talk about the why and when you might get a break is Stu Leonard Jr., President and CEO of Stu Leonard's. Stu, you have been in this business for a very long time, decades. Have you ever seen anything quite like what we're seeing with the prices right now?
No, I've been in the business since I've been a little kid. Our family has, and I've never seen markets like they are. They're so volatile. I've never said this before, but my crystal ball is broken. I can't forecast what's going to happen even tomorrow, and neither can our buyers here at Stu Leonard's.
So what does that mean if I'm a customer who comes through the door, if you from day to day can't tell, what prices some of these regular grocery items are going to be and how they're going to change? How does that affect the sticker that I see on a shelf?
Well, you know what? First of all, I would tell people don't panic. I think the news is making it sound like things are skyrocketing, but they're not. We'd say our prices we've had to raise them around 3 to 4% overall across the store. There's a couple things that have really gone up, like lobsters, king crab legs. And you saw center cut meats like your ribeyes and porterhouse, your New York strip steaks. They went up because the hotels and cruise ships were gobbling them up. So supply was there, but demand was very high.
What do we attribute What do we attribute those spikes to? Like, let's say king crab legs, or is it COVID? Is it the marketplace? Is it fuel? What is it that leads to those things suddenly spiking?
It's supply and demand. It's just like fuel today. I've never heard people have to spend $100 to fill their car up with fuel, but I'm starting to hear the $100 number a lot now. You look at the supply of fuel in the world right now, so the price has gone up considerably. It's the same thing with food. You'll see spikes on certain things a lot of times due to supply. COVID had an impact on it. The labor market had an impact on it. Some of our meat suppliers out in Kansas said they just didn't have enough people to run their plant 6 days a week. So they could only do it 5 days. Well, that's put pressure on meat prices. But they're coming down now. We're also seeing fuel a little bit come down. Our tractor trailers we're getting from California right now, it's costing us less to get them than it did a month ago.
That was one of the things I thought was interesting. You had a blog post about all this, and one of the things that you said is farmers especially, that fuel was hitting them hard. And I don't know what everyone else is doing, but at Stu Leonard's, you're doing like a 50-50 split with some of these local farmers. Explain that.
Here's an example. Last Saturday, Ben from actually Sugar Hill Farms right in Woodbury there, they've had a family there for business for 100 years in Connecticut. And he said he's feeling the pinch, his family is. He's got to fill his tractors up in the morning with fuel. The energy costs in his greenhouses are going up. He's struggling right now. Now, for us to try to put pressure on him to get a better price and say, we're going to quit you, we'll go to somebody else. We don't do that. Our family has. And instead, we're working with them. And basically what I say to farmers like that is they'll split it 50-50 with you. You take half the increase, I'll eat half of it myself. We're really cautious about passing that on to the listeners right now, the customers. They're having a tough time out there now. There's a squeezing feeling going on where you're sort of between a rock and a hard place. Suppliers are asking for a little price increase, but we're slow to pass it on right now. So our margins are lower than they ever have been, but we just think it's short term.
Well, you said earlier for people to be patient and hopefully things will stabilize, but probably no one in Connecticut knows the grocery business better than you, Stu. So what do you have any advice for people if somebody's saying, gosh, I just, whether it's your store or any other store, I look at that receipt, I just can't believe the number that's on there. Anything you can tell them that might just be some common sense to help them save a buck?
You want to hear something people are going to be shocked to hear? You can actually save money on food right now. How do you do that? First of all, every store you see has specials every week going on. Supply and demand, sometimes there's too much supply and You can't keep food too long. So our suppliers will call us up and say, like we just had a rancher call, I got a trailer load of ribeye steaks. They have too many of them. He'd like to move them right now. So we got them on sale at Stu Leonard's. Buy the stuff on sale. That's the first thing. And freeze it. I talked to a local appliance store, A Toro's here in Norwalk, Connecticut. Freezers they're out of stock on freezers because everybody was buying extra freezers for their house. Freeze it. The second thing you can do is go private label. Okay, we have so many private labels at Stu Leonard's right now. Sometimes it's made by the same supplier as the national name brand. You can save 20% on those items right there. And the third thing, and I hope none of our managers are listening right now, but have a shopping list and stick to it. We love doing demos. We love trying to get you to buy that extra pizza that you really didn't want to get, or two of the new fruit that came in or something, but stick to your shopping list. And those are three things you can do to save some money.
What are the things those are all great tips, and I think people are probably at home scribbling them down on a piece of paper, Stu. But as we watch, you talked about the big bad news saying that things are worse than they are. But as we cover the world, whether it's journalists here in Connecticut or around the world, as we cover what's happening, are there news events that people should watch for? Is it fuel prices? Is it just, peace in Ukraine? What is it that might be in the headlines that might make you say, okay, we're going to turn the corner here?
Well, this is such a tough time, I think, right now for the world at this time with what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. It's having an impact on us here in America. I think every day there's something different. One day it's a labor shortage. The next day it has to do with the Omicron. Now they say there's a new virus percolating over in Europe right now. You have transportation issues right now with fuel prices going up. Now with Russia and Ukraine, I didn't realize they supply almost the world with a third of the corn, the wheat, soybean oil. We noticed some of the chicken feed prices now escalating. So it's really difficult to manage. It's like, the old thing where the guy's spinning all these plates at one time on TV show. I mean, keeping them all spinning is a challenge, and it's a difficult time. I think people should just have faith in our system and our country and the retailers. I don't know of any of my friends in the retail business that are doing this gouging that they talk about. We're feeling the squeeze here. We're trying to do the best for our customers. I think our shelves are full because we do take care of our suppliers that deliver. So just be patient. I think we'll work through this. When, I don't know, but I think we'll get back to some normalcy, within the next few months, I think.
All right, Stu Leonard Jr., President and CEO of Stu Leonard's, and you heard him say it, ribeyes are on sale, like a good
I love your show,
a good retailer.
Love
Thank you,
show.
Stu. Appreciate it.